We love the Scotch whisky industry. We're here because of the great tradition, history, and beautiful whiskies that have come before us. But we always wanted to do something new. We wanted to make sure that we were going to be adding to the landscape.
Leith was where whisky was the king. Whisky grew in Leith, it was aged in Leith, it was blended in Leith, and we want to bring Leith back into the whisky map.
No one has built a whisky distillery like this in Scotland before. No one.
This is a great opportunity to bring whisky back to Leith and to bring fresh ideas into the Scotch whisky industry. This is the new Scotch. Ian and I met aged 4 at school. We grew up all the way through school together, and then for a few years we were living in London and we realised that maybe we should live together.
Paddy went into accountancy. I started shifting boxes and doing deliveries for Majestic Wine. And in the evening we'd sort of get a bottle of whiskey for the house. We started experimenting with elements of whiskey production, and that's where this whole idea really began to emerge.
We learned an awful lot about different distilleries, different regions, different styles, and then one day deciding that what we really wanted to do was build a whisky distillery.
I've been working in the wine industry for 10 years. I knew how to sell stuff. I knew how to create brands. Paddy had become finance director for a major company. He knew how to run a business. Between us, we knew we had the skills and the ability to do this, and slowly but surely we were getting the pieces in place together to share this vision with others. People don't realise just how much Edinburgh played such a key role in whisky production. At one time there were 8 distilleries operating in Edinburgh, and we're part of a renaissance, a resurgence of distilling in Scotland's capital city. The owners of Ocean Terminal approached us and they said, "We've got this bit of land, you should have a look at it." And I just thought, that's perfect. That is just ideal, because the location is just 20 metres away from the Royal Yacht Britannia. This is the Queen's former yacht that she used to sail around the world in, and it's now become a very key visitor attraction in Edinburgh. 400,000 people come down to that ship every year to visit it. So we're plugging into an existing tourism infrastructure. The visitors are there and we're giving them a new, exciting thing to visit.
To build enough capacity for our whisky, we had to build up. And that creates a completely unique building in the industry. We will be the only vertical distillery in Scotland. The building starts at the very top with a double height restaurant and bar, underneath which are some tasting rooms, a great shop, and then the whisky process at the bottom of the building.
It was a real sort of desire for us to let visitors get as close to the production as possible. We wanted that building to reflect who we are as a company, new, modern and visionary. We want just a sense that you are somewhere where people are making something amazing. Whisky is a really, really difficult business to get into. In Scotland, we have to mature our spirit for 3 years and 1 day, and actually much longer really for most consumers. And also you need a huge amount of cash up front for the equipment and the building.
We had a very detailed plan that came out with a number of around £11 million. That was the full construction cost, working capital, everything that we needed to get through to a profitable basis for the company. Once we had that number, we went out on the fundraising trail.
We went out to Chicago, we've been to France, Sweden, Hong Kong. We've gone wherever the opportunities are and gathered an international group of investors.
And after about 18 months, we'd raised about £8 million.
Our whisky distillery is all about doing something new, experimental, and looking to the future. Our gin and our sherry are telling stories about where we're from, about the past, and about the incredible heritage that we're building in. Sherry plays such an important role in whisky production. We should make more of it. So the first thing we did was release the sherry from the bodega in Spain, whose casks we will use to mature our whisky. These are the casks that will shape our whisky, so taste their sherry. And it's been embraced by bars right across Edinburgh and elsewhere. They love the wine, but they're also mixing it up in the most incredible cocktails, and it's just been embraced in a way that we never anticipated. We then began to think about producing a gin, and anyone looking at the Scottish gin market now would go, there's so many different products out there, so many wild and wonderful flavours. We began to think what we could do is actually cut through the noise and go back to really creating a benchmark London dry gin, something really simple, and do something simple but very, very well. The main idea for it was to start forging a distribution market, start creating those relationships that one day we will sell our whiskey into. In fact, it's completely surpassed all expectations. It's gone on to win numerous design awards around the world. It's incredibly exciting for us to actually be producing something that we're very proud of and seeing people enjoy it.
What people in the whiskey industry never talk about is that the brewing beer part is the most complicated. That's where all the decisions are. What kind of malt are you going to use? What kind of fermentation time? What kind of yeast? To distill, you can go fast or you can go slow, but there are fewer decisions at that stage. Having visited many distilleries, we'd never seen a distillery really go into that fermentation angle in any kind of detail.
We're now doing a really exciting research program with Heriot-Watt University, trialling all sorts of yeasts that haven't been used in whiskey production before. We're looking at the beer sector, we're looking at wine, where we've now built up a collection of over 20 new makes, all derived from different yeasts, and from those we're finding all sorts of exciting new flavours and characteristics and aroma. We're going to be building a lab in the distillery because we want to continue researching indefinitely. The scope for research is enormous and we want to keep evolving. It's now 2019, the end of 2019, and we've just got to site, and that is a quite remarkable feeling. It feels almost unreal. This is an incredibly exciting time. We've got a bit more money to raise. We need more people to join this journey. By 2021, when this thing's open, the dream will have become a very fantastic reality.
With the final investment in place, it'll allow us to open in June 2021, with the first whiskey coming off the stills in July. What we love about this business is our opportunity to bring a whole new modern face to whiskey in terms of a modern distillery, completely vertical distillery, and a research-led whiskey program. And those things together are hugely exciting for us and hopefully for the industry as well.
There's a lot to achieve with this business in terms of the construction, in terms of the tourism and all these elements, but if there's one thing I'm very confident about, we're going to make some really awesome whiskey.